inauguration to submit their list of cabinet nominees to the Senate and the State House of Assembly, respectively. That's our legislative hard fact for today. The Constitution gives the President and governors 60 days from inauguration to submit their list of cabinet nominees to the Senate and the State Houses of Assembly, respectively. Bola Tinubu waited until the dying minute to do his own. 16 governors are yet sending their own list. But the process of picking commissioners, picking ministers, it doesn't end with these lists. These are just nominees. The legislature is giving the power to confirm or reject them. And that's why we talk about the confirmation process, which kicks off right now. Joining me to talk about how confirmation works and everything else related to this is the Senior Program Executive at Order Paper, Temidayo Taiwo Siddiq. Thank you so much for joining us on Eyes and Nays. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, Sandra. Good evening, Lagos. A pleasure to be back.
Lagos, we want to hear from you as well. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your questions. I know that we've been talking about this list since 3 p.m. today, but it is the biggest story in the country, so why not? Now, Temidayo, the list that got to the Senate only has 28 names. The Constitution says that the president must have at least one minister from each state, meaning that there must be at least 36 names, on a complete list. If the deadline passes before Tinubu submits 8 more names, would he have complied with the Constitution?
Sorry, you want to take that again? I didn't get the last.
If the deadline had passed, so today is the final day. Today is day 60, right? If by the end of the day we don't get 8 more names, would he have complied with the Constitution?
If I heard you right, if he had turned in how many names, would he have complied with the Constitution?
So right now he has submitted 28. Constitution demands that he does at least 36, a representative from each state. As we stand right now, we have 8 slots outstanding. If at the end of today, which is day 60, we don't get those 8 names, can it be said that he has met the requirements of the Constitution?
Okay, I think it's a tricky one. It's something for the lawyers to determine, interpretation of the Constitution. However, what the Constitution specifies, 2 things that we are sure that the Constitution talks about in section 147 is that, and 148 is that the president has powers to constitute a cabinet. And then, but of course, those powers are limited to the point that he has to send a list of nominees for screening and confirmation by the Senate. And then, like you rightly said, one ministerial nominee must come from each state, and then we have 28 at current. It's really a dicey one for me because this is the first time we are trying this method of putting a time frame. Of course, you know what happened under the Buhari, but I'm sure we'll get to talk more about that. For me, I think that the major thing that has been fulfilled is that he has shown that intent to constitute a cabinet, and he has forwarded it within the time frame, actually on the actual day of the deadline. And then, but it still feels like it leaves much to be desired, because when you consider that he's supposed to appoint one person from each state, and I think when you even look at the fact that the list does not even state what state each either person comes from, either of the nominees. In fact, from what I see, it appears that as we speak, Katsina State appears to have okay, let me not say Katsina State has 2 nominees, but it appears that there are 2 persons from Katsina State on that list already, which means that if we were going to even look at it and say that 28 states are so far benefited from the nomination, I think you would even want to look at it again and say 27. And this has to do with Anatu Musawa, who is from Katsina State, and then another name, I'll get that shortly while we are on. So to go back to what it really is, I think that the president has fulfilled the constitutional requirement, but the extent to which he has fulfilled that is something that lawyers will need to
We'll need to
determine.
debate. I mean, it reminds me of, being in school and having an assignment to submit, and you have all this time in the world to submit the assignment. Can you hear me? It looks like you're struggling to hear me. Are you struggling to hear me?
It's breaking up. I'm not sure why today.
Apologies about that. It's probably like a network thing. Our tech team will work hard to fix that problem. But I was saying that this is like having assignments back in the day and submitting the assignment last minute, waiting until the last day to submit it. I mean, I've done it a number of times. I'm sure, you who's listening to me right now, you've probably done it a few times as well. Now, I said earlier on that 16 governors are yet to submit their commissioner nominees to their state houses of assembly. So it's taking Tinubu 60 days to bring his incomplete list. These are politicians who campaign for months, Temidayo. They campaign for months before getting sworn in. Why is it so difficult for them to get these cabinet lists together? Because bear in mind that in other countries with presidential systems, we see their presidents announcing ministers in the first couple of days, or even before they even take office. You don't know who go do their cabinet, And I'm thinking about places like Kenya and South Africa and Ethiopia. I'm not even going to places like the US or Britain, for example. So why is it so difficult for our own politicians to get it together? And I don't know that it's even about, you worked with people during the election, some people helped you get elected, you have to compensate them. It's the same situation in Kenya and South Africa and Ethiopia and the US and in Britain. They work together. Some of those people that they worked with during the election, they get some sort of compensation as well. So if these people can get it done in a few days, why is it so difficult here, in your opinion?
So I have two answers to that question. Number one is that I think that for me, if you ask my personal opinion, I'm really, really surprised, and I believe that a lot of supporters of the president would be surprised that it took 28 days to produce this list without going into the merit or demerit of the list. But these are names that, the president could probably have submitted on 30th of May, the morning after he left the Eagle Square. Governor Wike, former Governor Wike, former Governor Nasir. But these are people that the moment he was announced winner, he perhaps was sure that he was going to make them ministers, except perhaps they turned him down, and he was just able to beg them or appeal to them to consider his nomination, which I doubt is the case given the situation in Nigeria.
Right.
Then other thing I want to talk about is the fact that lately, when the delay kept coming for somebody who said, I'm going to hit the ground running from day one, day two, I'm going to hit the ground running, day three, I'm going to do that. One thing that people will probably, that we've seen as a result of numerous speculation is that they had to do security screening. And the security screening is usually done by the DSS, and then I'm sure the EFCC, to make sure that these people do not in any way constitute some form of security threat to the government, bringing them close to the seat of power if they constitute some form of threat. But even at that, I still think that because it's from one government of the same party to another, the moment he won, he had started penciling down the names he wanted to use. And then in the first week, you are submitting this name to the DSS and saying, you should check out these guys for me. I still think it would have been possible in the first 30 days. And then to answer the question about is it an African thing?
It's not an African thing, but it's a Nigerian
thing, rather.
Yes, it's difficult for us here.
Is it a Nigerian? So, Sandra, let me give you the records. President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua took 22 days to submit his list to the Senate.
President Obasanjo took 5 days. President Obasanjo took 5 days in his first term, 1999. He took 25. So perhaps it's not a Nigerian thing at the national level. Perhaps it's a
So, like I said, I think it's a Nigerian thing.
Is it an APC thing? Are you there? Did you hear me? Yes, I'm here. Did you hear my question? I was saying, I was saying that with Obasanjo you had 5 days, and then you had 25 days. Yaradua 22 days. Jonathan 30 days. Is it a Nigerian thing? Is it an APC thing? Because the first time he went for like 6 months was under President Buhari with the APC. So is it perhaps about the political party? But then you don't have APC as the entire 16 states where commissioners haven't been chosen. They're not all APC states, so if you're asking, if you can't say that it's an APC thing, because then what's the excuse for these governors in these states? Why haven't they chosen their own commissioners either?
So for me, I'm a bit conflicted. I have the answers, but I'm wondering if the answers don't defy logic, because I was going to say that clearly it's a case of lack of preparation. An opposition party, for example, is supposed to have a shadow cabinet. They have people in the waiting presented as an alternative to the government in power, as well as their policies. So I was saying to somebody some minutes ago, let's even look at the Labour Party, for example, that isn't in power now. I expect that they should have somebody, anytime they want to critique policies on education, they perhaps have somebody who they send to the media to do that. They want to critique policies on agri, they want to critique policies on finance. They have somewhere to do that, which almost kind of like make you feel, okay, this is the alternative. And they're making reference to their manifesto that if we were in power, this is what we would have done. So it's the same thing for the PDP, not just Labour Party. So my point is that if you are really prepared for governance, you would have seen clearly that you have your guys waiting. And so you are just a government in waiting. That's the word I want to use. But while I want to say lack of preparation for power, how do we say this of President Tinubu, for example, who told us that it's been his lifelong ambition to be president? So what really happened in his own case? I should even say that President Tinubu did take longer time than President Buhari in his second term. It took President Buhari about 55 days to submit a list to cabinet in 2019. I know that the first term it took over 124 days. But in the second term, it took him 55 days. And it was that this is the first time that we have a constitutional window for this thing to be done. Imagine for somebody like President Buhari, who didn't even have that constitutional window locking around his neck. So I really want to say that it's a surprise. And if you ask me, while I believe, first of all, that in the case of most of the governors, it has to do with lack of preparation. You preparing for to win election is one thing. Preparing for governance is the second leg of it. A famous writer says, we campaign in poetry and we govern in prose. So beyond the many rhetorics, beyond the many things that you see on the campaign ground, when push comes to shove, form a government that reveals what your mind is, your character in terms of choosing people. It's in the cabinet that we first get to see this. But one other point I really want to also drop forward is the fact that the politics of things also does show, which is that when you look at the President Tinubu list, for example, you will see clearly that you have people who lost elections. The only woman who contested for the APC presidential primary
is there.
Her name is there. You have some people who are special. So a few technocratic minds, like the people who are special advisors currently. But apart from that, there is the fact that most of these people are politicians. Former governor of Jigawa, former governor of Ebonyi, former governor of Rivers, former governor of Kaduna. And then you have about 6 former lawmakers. Some of them lost elections. The last election is either they lost a governorship election or they couldn't return back to parliament. And so when you look at all of this, it just shows clearly that we can say fully now that from Obasanjo to Tinubu, 99 to 2023, you cannot have a list in Nigeria without former politicians. It's actually one way to compensate your loyalists. How well these people now deliver the good is another topic for another day.
All right, Lagos, let me remind you that for states, 16 of the 28 governors have not submitted cabinet nominees. So these states include Sokoto, Enugu, Cross River, Plateau, Niger, Lagos, Ogun, Kwara, Borno, Adamawa, Nasarawa, Kebbi, Benue, Zamfara, Yobe, and Gombe. We have heard from Abia, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Delta, Ebonyi, Jigawa, Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, Oyo, Rivers, and Taraba. These states, 12 of these governors have submitted their own cabinets. They met the deadline, but these other governors from those 16 states have not submitted their own cabinet yet. Now, Temidayo, the Constitution imposes a 60-day deadline, but it is silent on what should happen if a president or governor violates it. What can the legal consequences be for a president or governor in this situation? Now, of course, you're not a lawyer, but I want to hear your thoughts. What can the legal consequences be? Can the office be sued? Can the office holder be impeached? What are the legal? What could it be? What can it be? What can the consequences be?
I think that we practice a presidential system of government for a reason, which is that three arms of government serve as checks on one another. In this case, the Constitution says in Section 192 that state governors are supposed to forward their list of would-be commissioners to the state assembly. Section 147 also does that at federal level, and that has not been done. That in itself constitutes a gross abuse, gross misconduct, as it were. Then it's a breach of the Constitution, the very ground norm from which all laws in the country are derived. And it's also that document which you swore an oath to protect. If you want to define an impeachable offense, Sandra, I think that number one on the list as at today should be the fact that a governor is unable to fulfill a constitutional requirement within his first 60 days in office. That's nothing can be more impeachable than that.
Okay, strong words from Temida Taiwo Siddiq. Temida Taiwo Siddiq is a senior program officer, program executive at Order Paper. Now, Temidayo, the names have gotten to the Senate, at least some of them. What's the next step? What does the confirmation process look like? But before we even get to that, what do you think about these names coming without their portfolios?
Let me say that we had written a special report to talk about what the screening process should look like. Being a parliamentary monitoring organization,
right.
For me, I think that we have not stopped going around circles in Nigeria. I know that a lot of anticipation was built around this list. Everybody was eager to see what the president's hand is in terms of choosing his men and women. And then it's also important for the economy because it does reveal to the market as well as investors what this president's mind or what a governor's mind in case of a state would look like. And so for me, the first 3 points I have to make: number one, we have not stopped going around circles. For us not to have portfolio was we don't even have states in this case to know which state is this person is coming from. Okay, not so important to governors, but if the constitution says that, why are you removing that? Not so quite even surprising that the list was presented by a former presiding officer at National Assembly. I think these are things that should be there. And it's important to also say that as it relates to portfolios, while the Constitution does not specify that portfolios should be attached, I think that it would not have been a bad thing to have, say, let me give an example. Dr. Betta Edu, who is on the list, we know that she's a medical doctor, and we know that currently she's a PC National Women Leader. And I was expecting perhaps that this president will be innovative, and then you come up with things like areas where this person is likely to be appointed into. If you don't want to state clearly that this is the portfolio, one of them will be women affairs. She's national women leader. She's done some work in galvanizing the APC women, at least until the court says otherwise, they've secured election victory. So you put women affairs there. Another one is the fact that because she's a medical doctor, former commissioner for health in Cross River, you are saying health is another place that this person is likely to be. And then the third one, you possibly say, okay, she's a young person in her 30s. There's the Ministry of Youth and Social Development, and you are putting youth. So those are three areas. It is even possible that after sending this to the Senate, you go ahead and when they confirm these people, because Constitution does not make it compulsory for you to follow that, you go ahead and appoint her to Ministry of Labor. I mean, that's your choice. But it's needed to make the screening process effective. Sandra, during the Obasanjo administration, senators asked a ministerial nominee why she was not married. You can imagine that kind of very worrisome question.
Okay, hold that thought. We'll take a break. When we come back from this break, Lagos, we will talk a bit more about this business of providing a list without the portfolio. To quote Femi Adesina, I and every journalist in Nigeria sounding like broken records at this point.
From the regulators,
you must listen station across the country. You've been very contributory.
Nigerian Info remain our station. We regulate Nigerian Info. Nigerian Info is doing well.
to the everyday people.
Nigerian Info very.
Sandra, it's really breaking. I'm struggling to hear you.
I love the conversation. Anytime I listen to Nigeria Info, it's second to none.
Nigeria Info, forget. And then they carry first.
99.3. 99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
1. Abubakar Momo. 2. Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Chuka, CON. 3. Architect Ahmad Dangiwa. 4. Barrister Hanatu Musawa. 5. Chief Uche Naji. 6. Dr. Beta Edu. 7. Dr. Doris Anite Uzoka. 8. His Excellency David Omaye. 9. His Excellency Ezenwa Nyesom Wike. 10. His Excellency Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, CON. His Excellency Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, CON. 11. His Excellency Nasir Ahmed El Rufai, CON. 12. Right Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo. 13. Honorable Nkiru Onyechuocha. 14. Honorable Olubumi Tunji Ojo. 15. Honorable Stella Okotete. 16. Honorable Uju Kennedy Ohaneye. 17. Mr. Bello Muhammad Goroyo. 18. Mr. Dele Alake. 19. Mr. Latif Fagbemi SAN. 20. Mr. Muhammad Idris. 21. Mr. Olawale Edu. 22. Mr. Wahid Adebayo Adelabo. 23. Mrs. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim. 24. Professor Ali Pate. 25. Professor Joseph Utsev. 26. Senator Abubakar Kyari. 27. Senator John Eno. 28. Senator Sani Abubakar Danladi.
Authentic UK product. Give my customer a job. Customer, I get what you find. Enter, my God inside.
I hear say you don't settle your third boy this month. Not true?
Not true. Na Keystone Bank Oga account where I open to save money they help me. To settle my boys no be problem again. And when I need emergency money, I still fit borrow from inside the account. Sharp, sharp.
That one good oh.
With Keystone Bank's Oga account, you can plan better towards your apprentice's settlement. With a minimum balance of 5,000 naira, you can open an Oga account, make monthly contributions, and get interest on savings. Make it happen for your apprentice today. Visit the nearest Keystone Bank branch or call 0700 2000 3000 to open an Oga account. Keystone Bank, we grow together.
Moves must be made. My people just to work hard. Dreams and challenges motivate us. But some journey gets tiring, all we need is something to push our limits.
Reactor, ignite your energy, bring out your inner champion. Reactor, ignite your energy, bring out your inner champion.
Reactor Energy Drink. What you need to push your limits.
Wahala, Reactor Energy Drink. Push your limits, no dey tire. No way, Reactor Energy Drink. Reactor.
Push your limits.
My children are athletes. From the moment they wake up, they keep playing and learning. So, when I pack the new Milo NS snacks into their lunchbox, I'm giving them a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Milo NS Snacks, snack of future champions to help your kids refuel and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! If you're Nine Mobile, then you're most definitely enjoying ridiculously affordable data. Like 4.2 gigabytes for only 1,000 naira. 1K, hold on, you also get 6.5 gigabytes for 1,200 naira. And 9.5 gigabytes at guess how much? 2,000 naira. Come on, guys. Join Nine Mobile now or dial *301# to choose from our affordable and reliable data plans to express yourself freely on Niger's confirmed network. Nine Mobile. Here for you. Here for Ninja.
The biggest reality TV show in Africa is back. Get ready for double wahala as the stars pepper them so they can level up. This season is bigger, louder, and the chances of mega drama is too sure.
Spend lesser time scrubbing with Too Sure dishwashing liquid and enjoy more exciting moments as you tune in this all-star season. Too Sure dishwashing liquid. No be wash.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? I'm in Biggie's world, where it seems like multiple stars are aligned for the ultimate showdown. I have to go. Biggie's calling.
It's the return of your faves in the first ever Big Brother Ninja All-Stars. Get ready for Edge of Your Seats drama, showing 24/7 on DSTV Channel 198 and GoTV Channel 49. Get and stay connected.
Big Brother Ninja All-Stars is proudly sponsored by MoneyPoint, powering dreams in association with HFM, online trading at its finest.
Thanks for letting me stay the night.
You're welcome, dear.
I slept so well. Your bed is simply divine. And your pillows are so... like I was resting my head on a cloud.
Mocha makes amazing pillows. That one is the Crown Anti-Allergy Pillow.
I think it's time I changed mine. I have been using them for ages.
You should. Doctors recommend changing pillows every 1 to 2 years.
Really?
When was the last time you changed your pillows? Buy a Mocha pillow today and sleep healthy.
Mocha, adding comfort to life. It's the jump off season with Super Commando Energy Drink on the biggest TV reality show in Nigeria. And the action never stops. Catch all the jaw-dropping drama, the heart-pumping excitement, and catch all the energy moments with your Super Commando in hand. Because if you snooze, you definitely lose.
Super Commando.
The action continues. So fire on with Super Commando Energy Drink throughout this jump-off season. Super Commando Energy Drink. Fire on.
Sure you like to save your money?
I dey save my money.
It dey sweet your body.
It dey sweet my body.
Happy toilet cleaner. Yepa.
Only she give me money.
Sure you like to save your money?
I dey save my money.
It dey sweet your body.
It dey sweet my body.
Happy toilet cleaner. Yepa.
Only she give me money.
And it dey shine well, no be wash. One dab, small brush, one flush. It be things, it go clean, it go bright. No germs for the site, it go sweet your body.
It dey sweet
Sure you like to save your money?
I dey save my money.
Oh yeah, make una rush go buy 40 naira Happy toilet cleaner. Where dey inside sachet, make your toilet dey 10 times cleaner. It dey clean toilet well, and the price no dey tear pockets. So no waste time. Alele, go buy your own 40 naira Happy toilet cleaner and save plenty money today.
Oh, lunch. Guys, I'm going for lunch. Please, put more stew. Nice meal. My chest.
Suffering from heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. My recommendation for the past 26 years. Just Eat is a brand of aluminium and magnesium hydroxide and simethicone. Just Eat is available in suspension and tablets. Remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Jested, now available in new packs. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read leaflet inside.
My brother, I don't fit to find my shares, so it be like say all the money where I put for shares done lost.
That one na small matter now. You never hear of ISF? ISF na the Integrated Shares Finder, where Integrated Trust and Investment carry come. Na im be the ogbonge product wey go help you find your missing shares and dividends. With the shaking money, you go just register for ISF, and ISF go get your shares and dividends back sharp. To find your shares, just call 0901 502 5992 or 0703 041 6997 or check our website for www.integratedtrustng.com. Abi make you come our head office for Integrated Trust Office 61 Marina Lagos or office for Ibadan and Abuja. ISF. Now the sure way to find your missing shares and dividends.
Another season of the biggest reality show in Africa is here again. And the question is, how thirsty are you? Thirsty for more confirmed drama and basketballs? More nail-biting suspense? More confirmed bedu? And of course, more of your refreshing Pepsi. So, I ask again, how thirsty are you? Enjoy all the excitement as you tune in this season with your cold and refreshing bottle of Pepsi. Pepsi, confirm. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
So, we went on the streets to ask people how they love Nescafe Multi.
This multi, that's sweet, oh.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Whoever added malt to Nescafe is a genius.
The way the coffee tastes, they mix with the sweet creaminess. And the malt taste, it not get maize, mba.
See, abeg, if you want greet me now, have a great multi day.
Well, you've heard it live and direct. Start your day with a Nescafe Multi every day. And have a great multi-day. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
See how I'm using corner eye to look at you as you keep pressing *321# on your phone. Is it not credit that you want to borrow from Glow?
Yes, now. What happened? Has the code changed?
Where have you been, girl? *303# is the new code to borrow credit and data on Glow.
So the code is no longer *321#, but *303#?
Confirmento. Voila! It worked, oh! Before Uncle, *303#, not before show. But, guy, I hope so the data where you borrow go reach me and you.
Dial *303# to borrow credit and data on Glow and pay later. *303#, new code, same great ease.
Glow Unlimited.
Use Vaseline to moisturize, and your skin will be bright and just right. Vaseline is good for you from head to toe to make your skin glow. Make sure you rub your hands, oh yeah. Make sure you rub your legs, rub your face, oh yeah. Thanks to Vaseline, everything's so smooth, everything's so soft. Vaseline, everything's so smooth.
For chapped lips, diaper rash, damaged skin, and a moisturizer to keep your skin smooth, use Vaseline daily for a healthy, shining skin. Experience the healing power of Vaseline.
Naija people, with the yarn better tori abeg.
Bruh, come on there. Size no matter. The biggest dragon for Westeros, then small pikin face am, climb am, ride am like Formula 1. Fear catch me.
I didn't tell
you. No one tells a story like we do. Watch House of the Dragon and other local shows on Showmax, Africa's original streaming service. Sign up at showmax.com.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher, a pilot, an astronaut.
Kids have big dreams, but a lack of iron in their diet could affect their brain development. That's why one sachet of Cerelac Junior provides 50% of their daily iron needs to help them learn to their full potential and fulfill their dreams.
A musician, an architect.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
How far? Every time you fantasize about traveling, the ticket fare slaps you back into reality, Abby. I have a solution. You can pay small. Let's say you want to travel to Johannesburg. You go to onboard.com. You search the ticket fare and it's 450k. You can lock down the ticket with as little as 10% and pay 2 to 5 times depending on your date of travel. Is it not better to pay that 450k like 3 times? It is. This applies to local and international flights. Quick Quickly book your tickets www.onboard.com, onburt.com, and use Pay Small Small.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. So, start every day with a great tasting cup of Nescafe 3-in-1. Just add water and enjoy the blend of coffee, creamer, and sugar with that rich, creamy taste you love. To help you start strong and make every morning count. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
Hi there, my name is Mercy Johnson Okoji.
My name is Joke Silva.
Hi there, I am Aproko Doctor.
My name is Chef Winnie, aka Delicious Food.
It's your boy Cruz with Joe. I love cooking.
And my choice of cooking oil.
And my choice of cooking oil is Power Oil.
My choice is Power Oil.
Use Power Oil. It's triple filtered. It contains omega-6 and 9, and it's fortified with vitamin A. Plus, it comes in different packs and sizes, so you can afford it without breaking the bank.
When you're a 9 Mobile, Nigeria's own network, you get rewarded for asking for more. So whenever you need more data to stream favorite movies and music, or to play the latest blockbuster games, 9 Mobile has got you covered with 8 GB for just 1,500 naira, 9.5 GB for 2,000 naira, and many more. So join 9 Mobile now or dial *301# to choose any of our reliable and affordable plans to express yourself freely on Nigeria's confirmed network. 9 Mobile, here for you, here for Naija.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities? And how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Babe, let's go grab a drink now.
Oh, this woman. Go alone now. I'm very tired.
You better come, Joe. I'm buying my favorite yogurt for myself.
Oh, shit. Let's go there.
I can bet you're also buying Nutri-Yo.
Before, Uncle, with its delicious, thick and creamy taste, I cannot resist my desire for Nutri-Yo.
Mr. Nutri-Yo. I'm sure buying the strawberry flavor.
So you said like better thing? Me? I want the plain sweetened flavor, I beg.
I just knew it. The same flavor my baby brother loves, just that his own is the kiddies pack.
Sure, boy. That's why it's my guy.
Nutri-Yo, my yogurt irresistible. Available in 500, 400, and 125 ml. A quality product of Seaway.
Wake up, sleepyhead. It's Girls' Day Out.
Fine. What's the plan for today?
Okay, so we have a 9 a.m. hair and nail appointment at the salon. At 3 p.m., we're going to watch the new superhero movie. Have drinks with Emeka and his friend at 6. At 8, we're going to try out the new restaurant at the mall. And
all that in one day? How?
Easy, my love. Start your day with a bowl of cereal made specially with Olympic milk. And let's get going.
Enjoy the goodness of Olympic milk to own your day. Olympic milk. Stay active.
If you're on Nigeria's confirmed network, you get a super gift of 1,000 naira for just joining the network. You're welcome. 900% bonus on every recharge, 100% data bonus for 6 months, and double data bonus on your first recharge of the month. That's the 9 confirmed plan from 9 Mobile, and it's lit. So get a new SIM or dial *1400# and start browsing, sharing, and creating more on Nigeria's confirmed network. 9 Mobile, here for you, here for Naija.
The biggest reality TV show in Africa is back. Get ready for double wahala as the stars pepper them so they can level up. This season is bigger, louder, and the chances of mega drama is too sure.
Spend lesser time scrubbing with Too Sure dishwashing liquid and enjoy more exciting moments as you tune in this all-star season. Too Sure dishwashing liquid. No be wash.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Redmi Note 12 and Redmi A2 Plus. Live vivid, let's vibe. Redmi Note 12, new variant and color, yeah. Sunrise gold color. 8 gig plus 256 gig capacity, 15 megapixels, yeah. AI triple camera, yeah. And it's charging faster. 33 watts charger, yeah. 125 900K, and it's definitely the king of mid-range. Let me just
Nigeria's #1 station for talk.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan assured Nigerians that no citizen will be shortchanged in the distribution and application of the COVID-19.
Hot conversation.
Is it possible that COVID can affect somebody psychologically?
Oh, absolutely. With the COVID pandemic, we have also been experiencing a mental health pandemic, coping, and generally people's psychological health has been affected.
For the strongest opinion.
What that has been reintroduced is equivalent to the same side because there's no reform ab initio. So this one that is just going to have in Nigeria is large-scale industrial farming, which of course is what can make food very adequate within the country.
Your #1 station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hey Lagos, I'm here again and with good tidings as usual. So if you haven't heard of the One Play Lotto prize money, well, here now because the prize money has now doubled. It is now 150,000 naira here to be won on Nigeria Info. All you have to do is just dial *347 *880 *3# *347 *880 *3# with only 200 naira, and you can be on your way to winning some of those cool cash. Okay, so what you have to do is dial the code and follow the prompt. I say follow the prompt because it's very important. The prompt looks like specifying your amount of entries, choosing your bank, choose one to continue, and then you receive an SMS with instructions to make payment. Once that is done, you can listen into the live draw on WhatsApp Lagos from 11:15 to 11:25 every weekday, on Game On from 8:15 to 8:25 every weekday, and on Chat Station from 10:15 to 10:25 p.m. every weekday. Remember that if the system picks your number, you might have won the cash prize of the day. So start dialing *347 *880 *3# with just 200 naira and make sure you follow the prompts. And don't forget, you can pay as many times as you like, but don't forget to play responsibly.
The only station that puts you first.
Security apparatus that we have, they are not only ghosts. They cannot be everywhere at the same time. Let every Nigeria be the first responder to whatever crime that is being perpetrated towards them.
You see, if government is doing exportation, I know that nobody is going to frustrate them. And they will create job for people, but they're just sitting down there waiting for money to be shared.
Your #1 station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
What should an ideal cabinet nominee confirmation look like? My guest on the show is our guest every Friday on Eyes and Nays. Eyes and Nays is where we focus on the legislative arm of government. What are they doing? How are they doing it? Part of their job is to keep an eye on the executive. Are they doing that right? Well, one of the most important things they do is take a look at the people who want to help the president achieve his vision. It's called a confirmation screening. Order Paper is Nigeria's independent parliamentary monitoring organization. They're also a policy think tank, and they bridge the gap between the people and parliament. They are on social media at Order Paper, and that's why we have them on the show today talking to us about this. We have the senior program executive at Order Paper, Temidayo Taiwo Siddiq, talking to us today about this list that the president sent on the last day and incomplete. Now, Temidayo, before the break, I said to you, why is it that when we are getting this list, we don't get it? We don't get it alongside the portfolio that these nominees will be handling. Why do we get just a list and then the ministers are having to ask, the senators and lawmakers are having to ask ridiculous questions like, why are you not married?
Yes, Sandra. So I was stating that the reason is really difficult to fathom, but we talked about the fact that the Constitution does not specify that portfolio should be attached. But I think that common sense would be that to make a screening process effective, it means that portfolios have to be attached. Imagine you being recruited for a job without knowing what the role. The recruiters don't know what role they are going to
Or they're
they are going
recruiting
to
you
place
for.
you. They're just screening you to know whether you fit into the organization. I know that we like to make government very complex. I've not been in government before, so you may want to excuse me. But I'm a student of history, student of political science. I do know that government is not so. It's a social organization. It's not so different from the church. It's not so different from the family, if you even want to look at it. And so there is no instance where somebody will recruit somebody for a job without portfolio. And so the points remain that there is a possibility that the president does not want to reveal his hand. He still wants to withhold some form of secrecy, being the person that holds the ace in deciding what you become in the cabinet. But I'm saying we need to move past this. This is 24 years after we are going around circles. And I gave an example before we went on break. Even if you are not saying the actual position that you are tipping this person for, I expected something innovative, which is get 3 positions where this person can likely fit into. So it gives them a sense of it. I don't think that this not fixing portfolio does reflect on how these ministers perform eventually.
Because think about the education minister before he left. Adamu admitted that he had no idea about the education ministry. He had no knowledge of this portfolio that he had been handed. Imagine that person being in charge of Nigeria's education. Because that's
it's really a sad story. I mean, let's even look at this interview, for example, that we're talking about, Sandra. I mean, I know that I'm going to be on this interview today. I am an expert in this field, but I still have to check the books to be sure that I'm giving Lagos what is factual, what is correct and authoritative. And the same thing with ministerial position. Yes, you know that somebody is going to be a minister. The president has chosen you. But what about preparing your plan? Is it when you get there, you will not start navigating the politics of ministries and departments and also trying to also come up with a plan? So I think it does affect, it's the bane of governance in Nigeria. But what's important to also say there is the fact that apart from this innovative approach I thought would have come, there's the part that the portfolio helps the lawmakers to ask the right question.
That's right.
It helps them to know what really this person will be bringing on board. You needed to hear what the Senate spokesman said some minutes ago. I mean, we have that story on our website where he talked about a minister is supposed to know something about everything. I get that. Even a journalist is supposed to know something about everything.
I don't know that. I don't know that a minister is supposed to know something about everything. I mean, that's a journalist. A journalist is supposed to know something about everything. A minister, though, I don't know. A minister is supposed to know about leadership. Is supposed to know about negotiation. Is supposed to know about conflict resolution, conflict management. But most importantly, they're supposed to know a lot about the ministry that, or the industry, or the sector that they're about to be entrusted with. So I'm curious about the headspace where a potential screener is saying you're supposed to know something about everything. It's giving what's that category of exam that we used to take back in the day? Oh, it's not quantitative reasoning now.
Objective.
Yeah, is it general something? I've forgotten now. I can't remember now. See, this is one thing that the journalist doesn't quite know. But yeah, it's an interesting opinion to have as one of the lawmakers who will potentially screen these nominees that the president has put forward. Now, we have just 1 minute left, but in that time, could you tell us just very quickly, we'll come back to this next week, can you tell us what the next step is now that we have a list?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure section 147 subsection 6 gives the Senate 21 working days to conduct the screening. If they don't conduct the screening under that time, it's the president can go ahead and appoint his minister. But that's the time frame that they have, and the Senate has said they will commence screening on Monday, 31st of July by 11 a.m. Now, this is the extra information I want Lagos to get. According to the Senate rule book, nominations shall be made by the president to the Senate, And if the responsibilities of the nominees are specified, they will be referred to the appropriate committee, which is what you talked about earlier. And if they are not stated, they will be referred to the committee of the whole. So it means that we are in for another round of general questions. Recite the national anthem, recite the national pledge. Why are you not married? And then this will be done in the open, however. But some things that happens in between now and Monday, these people, if there's any one of them who have served in government before, they are supposed to declare their assets and liabilities before they come for the screening. And also, they are supposed to do some form of fingerprint clearance by the Force Criminal Investigation Department of the police. These are major things that must happen. But I want Nigerians, Lagosians, not to expect that these people will meet a particular committee because the president did not assign attach their responsibilities.
Maybe between now and Monday, we will hear about portfolios. Temida Taiwo Siddiq, thank you very much for your time. I'll see you next week, Thursday, bright and early. Monday, Lagos will dive deeper into the screening process. Thankfully, it starts at 11, so by the time I'm on air at 3 p.m., we will have information to work with on the big weekend. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Tomorrow is Hard Facts Awards Day, but in the meantime, find me on social media, Ezekwesili everywhere. Those were your Hard Facts. Lagos, good night.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Oh, lunch.